Hi everyone, I'm Dave Kelly and we are launching a resource guide for older adults at risk of going missing. So we have a video to show you. You're going to meet Roger Marple, a gentleman who lives with dementia. Lisa Poole will tell her story of taking care of her father who was lost many times. But first, this was a project with 14 different organizations, and Kim Savard, the co-chair of Calgary Missing Older Adult Resource Network, is here to explain it all. 14 organizations, Kim. That's not easy to corral all of that. Talk a bit about that collaboration.
Yeah, so we've been very lucky to have this happen here in Calgary. It was started off with a grassroots initiative by a group of seniors, actually, who said we need to address the issue of seniors going missing. And it started in 2015 as just a small group coming together to say this is a problem. And then we gathered a few more people and we started a steering committee, because that's what we like to do, is have steering committees. And from there, we moved into an official action team under the city of Calgary. So altogether, we have 14 different organizations. We have Calgary Police Services, we have Calgary Fire Department, we have the City of Calgary, we have Alberta Health Services, and then a number of senior serving organizations. And everybody really has just come together, taken off their agency hats and said, how do we solve this problem?
So you managed to get all of these people together, you herded all these cats. What do you hope is the result of going forward with these organizations?
So what we've been able to do is take a look at some of the opportunities to address this problem locally here in Calgary. One of our exciting pieces is that we're going to launch this resource guide that's going to go out next or beginning of April. Mm-hmm. And so that's really to support folks that maybe are struggling or worried about somebody going missing in their lives. And it's really looking at prevention in the first place, what to do if something happens, and then how to get the resources that you might need after an incident happens. So that's kind of our first big task that we're so proud of. And then we are moving on to different things. So we're still exploring the idea of a community alert system. We're looking at follow-up interviews. We're not done yet. And we just have such a fabulous committee where everybody just really is there, rolls up their sleeves and does the work.
Well, what a great story. Congratulations on getting everyone this far, and look forward to seeing where they go. Thank you so much, Kim. And like you say, it's a big group to organize, and what makes that work a lot better is when the government is involved as well, and they sent a message.
Hello, everyone. As a Minister of Seniors and Housing, the safety and security of seniors is a top priority. And today, I'm pleased to talk about an important new tool that will help older adults and their caregivers prepare for emergency. Seniors can be at a greater risk after the flood, fire, or other disasters. The resource guide for older adults at risk of going missing will support individuals and communities to better respond to disasters and emergencies. Alberta's government is proud to support this resource guide, which will help seniors live safely in their communities and remain in their chosen homes. With these resource guides, new workshops, and a greater awareness about this issue, we can help more seniors to feel safe and secure in their own homes. And that is critically important to all of us. Thank you to our partner who worked on this valuable resource guide, and for everything you do to keep seniors safe.
I also want to introduce Roger Marple. Now, Roger, you live with dementia and you have been lost. For those of us that don't understand it, can you give us an example of what that experience is like?
Well, I've been lost more than once, I'm sorry to say, but you have to make a conscious decision. Do I move ahead with my life regardless of challenges or not? So I put a number of things into place that can assist me if this were to happen again, which it is possible it will. But I can give you one example that shook me up, where the most lost I've ever been is in the hallway of the condo I live in. Believe it or not.
Wow.
I was coming in from getting groceries from a local Safeway store. And I walked in the hallway and very suddenly, I didn't know where I was. And I'm looking up and down the hallway and I'm going, where am I? And it took a while. And it was quite scary because at that moment in time, I wasn't problem solving. I wasn't thinking my way out of it, if you can understand that.
Yeah.
So anyway, make a long story short, I looked down in my hands and I seen 2 bags of groceries and a set of keys in my hand. And I looked at the door, looked at the keys, and realized maybe this is where I'm going. And I put the key in the door and unlocked the door, opened the door, and everything looked familiar because it's my home. But that's just one example. And there's other examples I can share. So it's very sudden. It's very, you don't see it coming.
So for a person like me, I mean, this whole point is to help folks when they are lost. What's your advice for me or insight for a person like me that can be more helpful than I am?
That's a tough one because, you know, we're out and about in our daily duties and we're in a store, we're in a waiting for a bus, whatever it may look like. Mm-hmm. And you're not looking for someone getting lost or being confused, right? You know, so the only advice I can give is be astute. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, just think on your feet. And in other words, like I've run into one person who was really confused in a grocery store. And I didn't have to be an expert in dementia to know that that person was confused. And I helped sort them out. And I got them on their way. And it only took a minute. But I was being astute and watching the person. And yeah, my big point is you don't have to be an expert. You just have to know that maybe that person's having a hard time in the here and now. And it may pass very quickly, it may not, you know, depending on the severity of it. But I wouldn't leave them alone until you're well assured that they're okay.
That's so good. You're a sensitive and intelligent person. Thank you so much, Roger. That's one thought. Lisa Poole, I want to bring you on for a sec. Now, you were a caregiver for your dad, who has since passed away, but your dad was lost many times, and people in the community helped make sure he was safe. What did that mean for your family?
I can't even begin to describe the relief and gratitude that when someone saw because my father was quite an athletic person. And I think one of the challenges of a dementia diagnosis is the loss of autonomy and independence. And he still had an urge to leave the house and go do something. And so there's that fine line between someone going out for a walk and coming back, which he often did. And then sometimes it would be that he would go a little further, or he would perhaps get disoriented like Roger just described. And so people, sometimes it would be neighbors who would spot him quite far from home, and they'd pull over and just say, "Hey, John, do you want a ride? Can I give you a ride home?" And he'd hop in. And on one occasion, like he was way down, like he was kilometers away from home, way down Elbow Drive, which is a fairly busy road. And it was a stranger who noticed him, because I think he may have been wearing slippers. And so he just looked like he probably, wasn't necessarily where he should be. Mm-hmm. And so once again, just that kindness and compassion and looking out for others is something that, we can't even begin to describe.
And Roger spoke so eloquently about it. I know people have said in this community, if you see someone and see something, do something. So what's your advice again to someone like me? Roger talked about being astute. What would you say to someone like me that I could be unsure, or I don't want to bother someone if they don't want to be bothered, or I just kind of get shy or self-conscious in those situations? What's your advice?
Well, I think similar to what Roger said is kind of like, trust your gut. If you see something that you feel like is a bit off, I think it would be better to, have someone give you a strange look than not to help someone in need of help. And I think there's ways to approach people gently and kindly, so that it doesn't have to be aggressive or assertive. Like, you certainly don't grab someone's arm and get in their face too quickly, because that will, even if they're whether they're lost or not, or have dementia or not, that I think would startle and scare anybody.
Right.
So
It's so important. And again, it's just being willing to step out and go, I'm going to do that. It's wonderful that you're with us. Thank you very much, Lisa. And thanks, Kim, as well. And thanks, Roger, all of you for being part of this launch. And us at Kelly Brothers, we were lucky enough to create a video to help illustrate sort of what's behind some of these stories. So we wanted to end this with a look at this PSA.
I've got myself turned around. I think I was supposed to meet someone for lunch. I just need to think. Where was I going for lunch? Who was meeting me?
This is my mom. Dementia was the last thing we thought would happen to her.
I'm so embarrassed. I don't know which way to walk. I know I've done something wrong. Nothing looks familiar.
When I was young, Mom always kept us safe.
You okay?
No,
What's wrong?
I don't know where I am.
Oh, what's your name?
I don't know.
Now, she could use your help.
Can I help you?